$300,000. Let that number sink in for a second. This isn't a Ferrari. This isn't a McLaren. This is a Mustang. Yes, the Ford Mustang, America's beloved pony car, the poster child of street racing and high school dreams, has suddenly walked into the hypercar lounge, slapped a six-figure price tag on the table, and declared itself ready to take on the gods of speed. But is it a game changer or a gamble? The Mustang GTD isn't just another performance package. It's a bold experiment, a rebellion, a calculated risk by Ford that says, we can build a street-legal car that eats track monsters for breakfast. But for a price tag that rivals the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, buyers aren't just expecting power, they're demanding perfection. So, what exactly is Ford offering for $300,000? Let's start with the exterior, a carbon fiber shell that looks less like a street car and more like a track predator caught mid-sprint. Every inch of the Mustang GTD screams aggression. From the menacing grille to the massive active rear wing, it looks ready to chase down European exotics and devour them without mercy. But looks are just the appetizer. The main course? A 5.2-liter supercharged V8 engine, rumored to produce more than 800 horsepower. Let that settle. That's Hellcat territory. But with track manners. This isn't about straight-line insanity. It's about total domination. 0 to 60? We'll get there in under 3 seconds. Top speed? Still under wraps. But make no mistake, this car isn't meant for cruising boulevards. It's engineered for Nürburgring. And Ford isn't hiding that fact. In fact, they're betting the whole house on one bold promise: a Nürburgring lap time under 7 minutes. That's not just impressive, that's elite. That's putting it in the same ring as the Porsche 911 GT2 RS, McLaren Senna, and Lamborghini Huracan Performante. But how does Ford expect to pull this off? They've thrown the kitchen sink at the GTD. Hydraulically controlled aerodynamic flaps up front, an active rear wing that adjusts on the fly, a semi-active suspension that can lower the ride height by 40 millimeters for track mode, optional magnesium wheels that cut weight and improve responsiveness. And wait till you hear this. The 8-speed dual-clutch transaxle is mounted in the rear for perfect weight distribution. That's race car logic in a Mustang. And the interior? It's a blend of muscle car soul and fighter jet DNA, quite literally. Parts of the GTD's cabin are sourced from retired F22 Raptor jets. This isn't marketing fluff, it's real aerospace engineering trickling into the automotive world. From the materials to the precision, everything screams high performance. But now, let's talk perception. Mustang has always stood for brute American muscle, loud, bold, fast in a straight line. It was never about lap times or precision handling. That territory belonged to Porsche, McLaren, Ferrari. The Mustang was raw, unapologetic, untamed. So what does it mean when Ford tries to evolve it into a European killer? Is this transformation a true upgrade or an identity crisis? Because no matter how advanced the Mustang GTD becomes, it still carries that badge, that pony logo, that legacy of burnout smoke and drag strips. Can a car with that much history truly be accepted into the elite club of supercars? That's the tension, that's the thrill, and that's what makes the GTD such a fascinating beast. You're not just buying speed, you're buying a symbol of American ambition punching way above its weight class. A hand-built limited production monster that wants to shatter expectations and lap records. But behind the roar of that V8 engine, behind the carbon fiber curves and aerospace parts, lies a question no spec sheet can answer. Is the Mustang GTD a $300,000 revolution? Or is it just the most expensive identity crisis ever made? The real answer lies in what comes next, because this car isn't just being judged by fans, it's being hunted by its competition. And in Chapter 2, we'll break it all down, feature by feature, lap by lap, and ask the most brutal question of all. What are you actually paying for? So the Mustang GTD has stunned the world with numbers: 800 horsepower, carbon fiber everything, a Nürburgring dream lap, aerospace parts, and a rear-mounted transaxle that screams supercar engineering. But let's strip away the hype for a moment. Let's pull back the carbon fiber hood, slow down the wind tunnel simulations, and talk about what really matters. What exactly are you getting for $300,000? And is it worth it? Let's begin with the performance package. Yes, the GTD's V8 is ferocious. Yes, the transmission layout is genius. Yes, the aero flaps and track suspension show insane engineering. But here's the cold reality. All of these things already exist in other cars. From brands with decades of motorsport dominance. Porsche gives you this with the GT3 RS. McLaren gives you this with the 765 LT. Even Corvette is playing this game with the Z06 and ZR1, and at half the price. So why does Ford think it can crash the hypercar party and demand a seat at the head table? Because the GTD isn't just a car, it's a statement. It's Ford saying, "We're done playing safe." It's the Mustang breaking its own chains and rewriting its DNA. And most importantly, it's a street-legal war machine built to do one thing: embarrass legends. But here's where things get serious. $300,000 is more than just money. It's expectation. At this price, buyers expect surgical precision, racing pedigree, material perfection, brand prestige, and most of all, credibility. And here's the truth. Credibility can't be bought. It must be earned. Ford knows this. That's why they're pushing the GTD to the Nürburgring, because a lap time under 7 minutes doesn't just break records, it earns respect. In that moment, it doesn't matter that it's a Mustang. It matters that it's faster than cars twice its price. But let's not ignore the elephant in the showroom: exclusivity. Only a limited number of GTDs will be hand-built. Each one is practically a custom order. From paint to trim to the aerospace-infused interior, you're not just buying speed, you're buying uniqueness. You're buying a story. You're buying the rare chance to own something that redefines what a Mustang can be. And in that story, you're the villain to the old supercar guard. You're the owner of the American outlaw that just smoked Europe's best on their own turf. But still, many will ask, is it worth it? Is it really worth $300,000? Here's the raw, unfiltered answer. If you want heritage, prestige, and decades of elite racing history, buy a Porsche. If you want drama, flair, and Italian soul, buy a Ferrari. If you want the car that changes everything you thought you knew about American muscle, buy the GTD. Because this isn't just about numbers, it's about legacy. It's about a car that dares to punch so far above its weight that it leaves the industry stunned. And yet, it's still a Mustang. Still rebellious, still loud, still wild. But now, it's refined. It's calculated. It's deadly. The GTD doesn't ask for approval. It doesn't beg for applause. It shows up, breaks records, leaves tire marks on legends, and disappears with a roar that sounds like revolution. So is the $300,000 Mustang GTD worth it? If you're asking that question, it's probably not for you. But for the few who understand what this car really is, it's not just worth it, it's historic.